Leadership TV for God and country.
Of your favorite program on television, Inside Nigeria. Today is Tuesday, February 6, 2024. And of course, my name is William Frederick Webo, your host on the program. We have on this first segment of the show 5 papers for review on this first segment, and of course we have your darling newspaper, Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, on our menu. This day, Vanguard, The Guardian, and of course Daily Sun. And of course, as usual on the program, we like to flag off with Leadership, Nigeria's most influential. Let's have Leadership on our screen. Leadership leading story says, in West Africa, food cheapest in Nigeria, despite complaints, according to governors. In West Africa, food cheapest in Nigeria, despite complaints, say governors. 3 days after Kano, protesters in Niger say we are hungry and dying. Seek help, Labour Party tells Tinubu. 3 days after Kano protesters in Niger say we are hungry and dying, while Labour Party tells Tinubu seek help. The leading stories today on Leadership. Of course, we have the picture of the protesters underneath that leading story in Mina yesterday. Beside that, we have World Cancer Day. Federal government plans 6 more treatment centers. Buka Abba Ibrahim buried in Mecca. ASCON decay, a wake-up call for government action. Pharmacists blame high cost of drugs on diesel forest. And of course, we've moved up to the stories about the headline story. We have CSOs to EFCC named those laundering money for terrorists. And on the business bus, 15.9 million students paid 159 billion naira on mobile data monthly. Wow, that's quite huge. And about the masthead, King Charles diagnosed with cancer. Kidnappers hijacked 2 Abuja-bound buses in Kogi. These were the trending stories yesterday. Kidnappers hijacked 2 Abuja-bound buses in Kogi. That brings us to the end of Leadership's review this morning. Let's move over to the next paper on our menu this day. This also has similar story on the hardship ongoing in the country, and it says federal government expresses concern over rising cost of living. Protest in Mina. Says situation caused by demand supply forces. Government looking forward to good harvest and reduce prices. Yusuf declares Kano people dying of hunger. Yusuf is the Kano state governor. Abba Yusuf declares Kano people dying of hunger. Bago blames food speculators as Labour Party advises Tinubu to seek help and fight. I'll take that leading story once again on this day. Federal government expresses concern over rising cost of living. Protest in Mina. Underneath that, we have Okowa doesn't interfere in governance of data. He respects the office of governor, says Obore Wori, the governor of Delta State. He says Okowa doesn't interfere in governance of data. He respects the office of governor. Buckingham Palace says Britain's King Charles diagnosed with cancer. Cardoso, CBN to streamline BDCs for greater efficiency. And about the market of this day, AFDB ready to disburse $540 million SAPZ funds to states. Oyo Cross River, Kaduna, Imo, Kano, Kwara, Ogun, FCT, 4 set of beneficiaries. And of course, the Vice President Chetima says it's time for government partners to walk the talk. Bank directors back CBN's reforms initiatives, urge industry compliance. This story continues on page 12 of this day. Of course, that brings to the end of this day's review this day. For more, log on to the website of this day, www.thisdaylive.com. From this day, we have Vanguard next. Vanguard's leading story is still on the high cost of living in Nigeria. Of course, it captures the Niger protest yesterday. It says high cost of living. Niger residents protest hunger, shut down major roads. High cost of living. Niger protest hunger, shut down major roads. And in quote, those behind protests are to hijack ultimatum. Kano governor to intimate Tinubu on hardship, hunger, and state. Hard times overthrown for test Nigerians. The leading story today on Vanguard. High cost of living. Niger residents protest hunger, shut down major roads. Underneath that, abducted GIGM ABC buses passengers. That is God is good motors. Kidnappers want 15 million naira to free my wife, victim's husband. Abducted God is good motors and ABC buses passengers. Kidnappers want 15 million naira to free my wife, victim's husband. And in sports, history favors Super Eagles over Bafana of South Africa. Of course, the match is slated for tomorrow. Revisit $3.2 billion ASCOM privatization. Armstrong urges Tinubu. We go over to the ones above the masthead of Vanguard. Nigeria loses 890 billion naira as gas flaring rises 18.9% to 275.2 million SCF. Borrowing, Senate to raise customs 5.7079 trillion naira revenue target. I'll take that again. Borrowings, Senate to raise customs 5.079 trillion naira revenue target. Economic crisis, federal government lacks ideas, should seek help. Labour Party. Herdsmen kill 10 persons in Otukpo occupied community. These are the headline stories today on Vanguard. Today, Tuesday, February 6, 2024. For more, log on to the website of Vanguard. From Vanguard, The Guardian is next on our menu. No, just before we take Guardian, I think we'll take Daily Sun. Daily Sun has similar story with that of the previous papers as its cover. Daily Sun says protests rock Niger over hardship insecurity. Protests rock Niger over hardship insecurity. Women use block major highways, engage police in fierce battle. Governor Abba to present Kano situation report to Tinubu. Labour Party advises president to seek help to fix problem before it gets out of hand. And underneath the headline story, NCC sets February deadline to bar unregistered SIMs. AFCON, Nigeria High Commission to South Africa raises alarm over possible attack. World Congresses, we are sad over kidnap of 9 electoral officers as Yegbemi, Edo PDP chairman. CCB begins verification of public officers' assets in South. Alleged terrorism, court refuses to grant Governor Fubara's loyalist bail. Gas explosion in Lagos, 4-year-old girl sees others injured as fire destroys market property in Lagos. EFCC arrests church leader over alleged 1.3 billion naira fake grants, money laundering. And just the last story on Daily Sun's cover today is the one beside the masthead. Government adopts passengers of 2 Abuja-bound buses in Kogi, demand 15 million naira each. That is the end of Daily Sun's front headline stories. For more, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun, we move to the last paper on our menu today, and that is The Guardian. Guardian's leading story says building materials labor spike construction cost by 200%. And of course, as usual, we have illustration underneath that leading story. Building materials, labor spike construction cost by 200%. Prices of essential building materials have risen by at least 75% in the last 1 year. Women farmers to get 0.5 million naira each from Remi Tinubu. Women farmers to get 0.5 million, that's 500,000 naira each from Remi Tinubu, the First Lady of Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is a good boost to women farmers. Fulham's distraught Fubara Supreme Court victory celebration. FCCPC fumes as loan apps violate regulation amid rising payment defaults. EFCC arrests pastor over 1.3 billion naira fake grants, money laundering. Of course, King Charles diagnosed with cancer, Buckingham Palace discloses. Refrain from wide celebrations if South Africa loses, Nigerian High Commission warns. Poor citizens protest high cost of living hardship in Mina, Osun. NAFDAC says over 50% of imported pharmaceuticals certificates are fake. Of course, the news continues on page 30 of The Guardian. And also that brings us to the end of The Guardian's front page headline review. For more, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. Well, viewers, we've come to the end of the first segment of the show, Inside Nigeria. Don't forget, second segment is coming with the guest today in house. Don't go away, stay tuned. Nigeria, your breakfast show on leadership television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, your host on the program. And as you can see, I have my Tuesday guest in the house as usual. Is a public affairs analyst, Hashim Suleiman. Hashim,
thank you. Thank you, Winifred. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
We always see often now. It's just a week ago. I saw you on
Yeah, weekly. Yeah. Wow, yesterday it was a protest march in Niger and of course Osun State, protesting over the hardship and the state of insecurity in the land. Of course, which has said so many tongues wagging with different views. What do you have to say about that?
I think with Kano too.
Well, I don't
want other places.
Yes, I heard about Kano, but I'm surprised that Kano is
Kano
not
too,
reported.
And all that. Yeah, and to be honest, I've kept saying it, and I'm somebody who likes to be consistent about my position. You see, this issue of hunger that has led to this level, for example, of protest and all, is a problem that has built up and it's too entrenched to be solved by any government. I'm being very honest with you. You see, people now are looking more to the federal government. Look, so let's sit down and just maybe basically do a small review of the so much issues that are on Mr. President's head now. You have the issue of the 3 countries living at once. You have the issue of insecurity everywhere around the country. You have political issues. You have, even the movement of fan and all those things to Lagos. You have all of those kind of optics. Now, I keep asking people, how do people expect the president to solve this level of hunger in the first place? Is he going to start knocking on people's doors and be saying, everybody take money, take money? So, really, so that's why we have to now begin to be a little more critical and understand the place of the state governments, the subnationals. Every month, there's at least now not less than 1 trillion in the last 3 months that's shed every month to these 3 tiers of government. But I think people don't really ask where that state government
that's what I told you at the beginning, that there are divergent views on this problem. Because that's what I was going to say, that what happened to these state governors? They are there. Why is it that there are people are protesting against the federal government when they ought to take their anger against their government?
Exactly. As far as hunger, maybe on security, yes, the federal government has a whole lot of roles to play as far as security is concerned. You cannot take away from that. But in terms of poverty, it is a local thing. In fact, some of the poverty, you even go to some of these places, you see is the mindset thing. It's just a function of people being extremely lazy and having sense of entitlements. How many graduates in Nigeria are ready to go to learn skills as against waiting for government agencies to employ them? Do you understand what I'm saying? And there's nothing that stops you from learning skills, be it whether you want to sing, or you want to draw art, or you want to do a movie. You're free to go and pursue all of these noble careers. But you'll find there are areas where maybe some of these things are taboo, or some, so the issues are, and that's why I said the issues are enormous. They're entrenched, and unless we are ready to really sit down and have a honest conversation about it, and I think maybe Mr. President can lead that conversation to begin to place the matter on this line of, so that governors, everybody, maybe we'll have to sit down and agree, look, state governors, you have to go back and give your local governments their money.
Yes.
We may not need to change the law, but let us have an agreement between us here now that, look, you're going to go back, and as the president, I will monitor to ensure that you give them their money. Let us have it in the agreement. Yes, if there's anyone who doesn't agree that should happen, raise it. And you can put it to voting. Whichever wins, then you go and you pursue it to the latter. You see that the resources will start to at least trickle down. And then we have to preach about skill acquisition. We have to do a lot of skill acquisition. People need skills. It's only the private sector and entrepreneurship that can get people to work, especially in a country of 200 million. The government cannot employ 200 million people. So at the end of the day, these are just the realities of the matter. We have to bring out the conversation as it is and look at it, because there's for me now, I keep telling people that President Tinubu in the first 4 years can probably, if the will is there and the prompt actions and everything is there, can probably only start to set us on the path of growth. But it's not like all of these optics about all of these kind of things will disappear. They cannot, because these problems are not,
they have been there.
You understand what I'm trying to say? They're mostly mindset. There are so many things combined.
And we're having a situation whereby one of the state governors of these protest states, Kano, said he was going to, Abba Yusuf said he was going to present Tinubu on hardship hunger report in the state.
Now that also has to do with the mindset. Do with Tinubu, exactly. Somebody on Twitter wrote that while Sanwo-Olu has gone to China to negotiate deals to come into Lagos, the Kano governor is saying he wants to meet Tinubu for the hunger illness. And then you
in his own
wonder,
state that he supervises over.
So for me, I think it all has to do with a mindset, more like a changed mindset where everything has to happen within a certain sphere before it is deemed to be all right. Otherwise, there are so many opportunities out there. Kano is robust, even in terms of security. Kano is still not bad. Kano is very, very okay. Kano is safe. So you can take all of these stories to investors in the foreign lands and tell them to come into Kano and invest, make the environment suitable and all of that. But what would Tinubu do for you? He's giving you your FAQ is coming monthly. Did he stop that?
He didn't stop that.
So what do you want? You want him to single out only Kano? And I don't even understand.
Another divergent view that I also heard concerning the protests taking place in some of the states, especially in the northern states, is the fact that many people are skeptical that when would they have their former president Muhammad Buhari on the saddle of leadership's driver's seat, and where insecurity was the order of the day, but these people did not protest. How come they are protesting so now?
Now that's the danger. That is the danger of precedence. You see, some of us, I mean, and that's why now if you go to my Facebook, every day Facebook gives me a reminder of things I have said in 2016, and I keep sharing it today, and it becomes very, very valid. Because then I used to tell people, look, you cannot allow, I'm a northerner, and then I used to criticize Buhari a lot, and trust me, the kind of backlash I used to get then was enormous. And I'm like, but there's nothing wrong. I am convinced that what I'm saying is the objective truth. And but these guys, and today all of those things, every day I share them, people say, wow, you're more like a prophet. Because I knew that if you go by this sycophantic way of insisting he cannot be criticized, or that you are definitely going to end up in most likely a failure. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And so that has happened. And even now, that's why we're also warning the Aswaju supporters. Thankfully, honestly, I can say I'm a little impressed, because if you look at the people now who have come out, even from his own ilk, to tell him the truth about the fact that there's hunger and all that. From one, the musician came out. You understand what I'm trying to say?
When he went to Lagos during the holidays, Christmas holidays, we also saw.
So you see, so that's the point. Yeah, so that's very, very impressive. For at least, but they're coming out and really talking and saying, look, Nigerians, and they're saying Nigerians. They're not even saying only them. You understand? That shows a very good optics for me. So this, yeah. So what you're saying is indeed actually a problem, and that's why the North, it's losing its grip even politically, because after all, you're not able to really have anything that looks concrete that you want to do. So all these protests will remain just for what they are. They're protests, but you have to, the solution to all of these things is internal, and everybody has to go back and look internally.
Okay, now based on what we just said, talking about the 30 year of governance, that is local government areas, Senate is about to embark on another constitutional review amendment. So what are we going to be expecting from these state governors? Because state governors have also stood as a stumbling block for having an independent and autonomous local government councils.
No, honestly, it's a tall order. You know, these governors, the major monies that they have to spend is this local government fund. Once you take that out, they become practically, how will I say it, not as powerful as they are right now. Because if you look by the years, the governors kept becoming stronger. In 99, when you had the local governments have their money directly come to them, they were not as powerful as this. The president was definitely more powerful then. You could remember how during Obasanjo he could be in Abuja and even get a governor impeached and all of that. Now every day it became difficult. It became more difficult for all of that to happen because of all of this constitutional change that puts a lot of money in their hands. So I don't know, for whatever reason, we have come to believe in our heads that the governors are the strongest people, that without them you can't win elections and all of that. So I think all of those fears around maybe their political, you understand, consequences of hurting them and all of that, and the fact that even the governors control most of these lawmakers that are inside that house, I feel then I don't understand how that's really going to come to bear, unless perhaps the president is really going to exert a lot of pressure and insist that it has to happen. But then we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And hopefully also that the constitutional review is not just going to be, you know, we've always been hearing about you. We keep hearing about you. What's the timeline?
It's always projected for it. At the end of the day, it's not. Let's move into another leading story. Since yesterday, the story broke. Kidnappers adopted God is good mottos and ABC buses passengers. And of course, now the victim's husband is saying that kidnappers have reached out to them, demanding 15 million naira each to free their victims. What do you have to say? And a situation whereby what is most worrisome is the fact that we are having security alert, because this has, gingered most everybody to be on alert, security agencies to be on alert to tackle these incessant kidnappings, and yet these dead devil kidnappers are still kidnapping people, kidnapping boys.
And even the danger about some of these things now of stopping commercial vehicles is that you see, some of these terrorists, perhaps maybe because of the kind of people who manage them or the people who advise them, they're actually very, very smart. So sometimes some of these things they do, they're not just doing it for the kidnapping purpose, but they're also attempting to sabotage the economy.
Exactly.
Because
that
when you have GIGM now and ABC buses, they will have to probably start slowing down on some of their travels. So people are going to get out of job. Yes. The drivers will not drive for perhaps some days. So many people who benefit in the parks, who sell this and that, will not. Do you understand? People will reduce traveling on the road. That's productivity reduced. So at the end of the day, look, and you don't even want to have this kind of uptakes at this time, like, because the economy is already, people is biting, is everything, and then you now want to have people put out an action that is capable of slowing down the economy. So you understand, really, I would not want to understand what these people are all about, where they're really trying to head to, but I think it looks, if you look deeper, I think it looks pretty dangerous, and it's something that we have to give very, very serious attention.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah,
now, amidst this hardship that people are complaining about in the country, there is an exclusive by Leadership newspaper today on their business boards that 15.9 million students spend 159 billion naira on mobile data monthly. That is quite huge.
Yes. Is it
that parents are pandering to this to their children's ego by supplying them phones?
No, I think that's not the case. Look, do you know, there are, as much as sometimes you talk about all of these issues about Nigeria, then you also have to understand that there are a whole lot of positives. And that's why, like I told you, you see, societies have to open up. They have to agree to the realities of the world. They have to try to drop that conservatism. Every country that has grown in the world now is trying to do away with conservatism. Even the Arab countries now, they're trying to do away with conservatism. That's why Dubai has opened up. That's why there are nightclubs in Dubai. There are everything. Do you understand? Even though it's an Islamic country, because they had to open it up. So that's why if you go to also cities like Lagos, and you go to the Lekki axis and the Victoria Island axis, a lot of those boys, 80 to 90%, are basically dependent on these digital tools. Either on Instagram and all of that. Some of them are into crypto. Yeah. I'm saying if you take that corridor alone, it may probably be responsible for a large chunk of this data that you're seeing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Apart from, actually, indeed, there are also other young people who do make small monies out of using this digital. So definitely they need data. Even politicians have their social media boys that post for them on Facebook and all that, so they give them monies for data every month. I know about that. That one is basic. So you have all of these instances and all of that. Yeah, so digital tools are tools that everybody needs now. You need it for communication, you need it for a whole lot of things. So that's not very, very surprising, but we're 200 million people. The whole lot of others who are more like hopeless are also there, trust me, and they don't even know what to do.
All right. Thank you so
and that's why skills, like even the digital skills, are things now that we have to promote and give people so they can be on their phone and make some little money. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Now, lastly, we are going to sports. Sports history favors Super Eagles over Bafana Bafana of South Africa yesterday, but that is not the issue. Yesterday, there was a press statement by the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs warning. This was actually a warning alert to Nigerians living in South Africa that they have to be careful tomorrow while the match is on, where they watch the match, and how to even celebrate when Nigeria wins that. I'm using the word when Nigeria wins that match
Yes,
tomorrow. So what do you have to say about
win
that?
it.
Because the press advisory has been trending since
No, of course it
yesterday.
has to go. You know, there's no love
But
lost
has it
between
come to that?
Nigerians and South
Has it
Africa.
come to that?
Yeah, xenophobia. How many
Yes,
xenophobic
yeah,
attacks
it's true.
have been meted on Nigerians? So many of them who live in South Africa, and I think maybe there's a little tussle for who is better. Do you understand?
But they already won.
Even in the Grammy, you understand? Even in the Grammy now, there's a little and Davido and
the giants, African giants.
Shaki and Irasta were there, but they
understand.
couldn't get it and all. So you can see all of that, and considering that is that history of xenophobic attack, it's better to keep it on the low. You understand what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever happens, whether they win or we win, but I think I'm optimistic that we're going to win. I think the team is solid. I think they're more experienced. I think they have become more compact, and the manager is absolutely a professional manager. One time assistant manager of Real Madrid, assisting Carlos Queiroz. So I mean, you should understand. He understands how to play games at this level. So for me, I really think that the Eagles stand on edge. But if indeed we do win,
so basically,
you are saying
it calm. So basically, you are saying
those
that
living in South Africa,
tomorrow's match is for Nigerians to win, Super Eagles to win.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Because I mean, you measure it now. Look at all the guys; they're top-notch professionals playing in different parts of the Europe and all that, and our goalkeeper has been good. Nwabali, the last time he was out, you could see, and so at the end of the day, I really think we'll have a compact team. The strike is not very, just that, you know, this AFCON, you have to see that a lot of the teams have stepped up, even in terms of their defense. So the games could appear difficult, but if you look at like the tactics we get to score the goals and all of that, I'm really optimistic that we'll have it over those guys.
All right, we hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And with that, viewers, we've come to the end of Inside Nigeria. I've had the pleasure of having with me a company studio every Tuesday. Hashim Suleiman is a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much once again. So it's on this note we end today's program. Don't forget to log in at 12 for news at noon. My name is Winnie Freddie Webber. So I come your way again, same time, same station. Here's wishing you a beautiful day. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.